I'm Christopher Titus, and this...
No, not a joke.
...is the Armageddon Update. Will I ever shut up? Will Titus, on this Armageddon Update, ever close his pie hole when it comes to the current crazy train that the Republicans, Putin, Xi, and Sweet Potato Hitler seem to be canning us all towards World War III with? Sure, I'll shut up. Maybe. But that's up to you, the American voter. Do you want to shut me up? Then vote. Do you want to have a decent life, decent wages, healthcare, and billionaires paying their share of taxes? Then you gotta vote. I don't think you know how hard it is to write the vitriol I constantly spew on this channel. Smash that subscribe button, bitches.
No, not a joke.
But it's up to you to change it. Look, here is where we are. The Democratic nominee is an aged, decent human with 50 years of experience. He has seen what works and what doesn't, which is why what he does works. He turned the country around after COVID, got the supply chain working again, brought back all jobs lost from COVID, and then added 8 million more. Black unemployment is at record lows. Infrastructure projects are rebuilding America and screwing up traffic countrywide. Healthcare expanded. Grandma and grandpa had their insulin bill reduced tenfold.
Shut your trap.
Now they can get back to sending you that $5 check on your birthday. We are so much better off than 4 years ago. Hell, compared to 2020, we are living in a utopia filled with cake and foot massages. You want to make it even better? Then vote. And regarding a rigged election, Chris Krebs, hired by Trump to oversee election security in 2020, said it was the most secure election we ever had. After 60-plus court cases investigating the election and absolutely zero evidence presented of any election fraud. I mean, there was election fraud by the people claiming election fraud, because turns out they committed election fraud. Do you remember what was going on 4 years ago? I'm so tired of this. Stock market had fallen to 25,000. It's 39,000 today. Stores were empty. You couldn't drive anywhere. They were stacking bodies in refrigerator trucks. We couldn't go to concerts. Unemployment was at 14%. And I hear this, yeah, but COVID wasn't the orange destroyer's fault. Okay, then let's go before COVID and see how bad Kitten Heels shit the bed. The U.S. trade deficit reached its highest point since the Great Recession. $684 billion in the fourth quarter of 2018. The U.S. trade deficit was the largest of all time under Trump. The U.S. economy lost nearly 200,000 full-time jobs and $64 billion in long-term real gross domestic product. According to the Tax Foundation, farmers went bankrupt. In 2019, farm debt hit a record high of $416 billion because of Trump's tariffs. China canceled all our farmers' contracts because of this diaper-wearing demon. The CBO reported that tariffs raised prices and cost every American household $1,300, while the millionaires and billionaires paid less in taxes. Again, this was before COVID. He lost manufacturing jobs.
Look, I'm very young, energetic, and handsome. What the hell am I doing this for?
Steel and aluminum was more expensive, cost us all billions. Just in 2018, he lost 300,000 jobs because of his economic policies. He wanted you to inject disinfectant, screwed a porn star. His wife and kids hate him, and on and on and on, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired that this dude still has a shot. This pathetic loser who killed 1 million during COVID due to incompetence, who lied 32,000 times, then golfed while Americans' bodies were stacked in trucks. That some of you even consider this douchebag is stunning. P.T. Barnum said no one ever went broke depending on the stupidity of the American people. Damn, was he right. But you could wise up. You could, want your taxes used for health care instead of fighting drag queens and Fauci.
Hey guys, it's RuPaul. The time has come for you to vote for your life.
Vote. You want schools protected and your kids educated with the best in the world? Vote. One party will give you that. Well, the other party will give you death, incompetence, and a bike lock on your vagina. Vote!
And don't fuck it up.
I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Fuck, people are stupid. I'm so tired. You gotta just look it up. Yeah, but it's because of COVID. No, it wasn't. He was fucking COVID from 2016 on. He was golfing. He screwed everybody. He shit the bed. He couldn't even say the picture had more people in it. Guys, hi. Welcome to the Titus podcast. With me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There can be only one.
I am not contagious. I just want
I am
you
not
to
contagious. I speak as if I had my sinuses ripped through my face in some sort of
know.
cartel
It hurts
horrible
to talk,
attack.
I gotta say.
So
So
she's been everything she's done has dried her head out further and further.
I'm on medication.
3
My
or 4?
dermatologist put me on a medication for my skin, which
Oh.
dries you out horribly. So whatever, cold or something I had turned into a sinus infection because I'm so dried up. And then we flew back and forth 2 weeks straight.
Oh, and we did merch. We met people, so she got whatever we
I
transferred
blame
back and
Toledo.
forth.
Bacteria.
And then now we're going to Tempe, to the desert. So it's going to be
dry.
118. I'm sure it's going to be fun.
118 this next week.
The powder flying out of your nose is not.
I wish.
It's not going in. It's going.
I don't think that would help, though. Is that cocaine joke?
Okay.
I think so.
Cocaine. I thought we were going to go cocaine.
Cocaine. Sorry for the extra ranty in the Armageddon update. Sometimes I think there's less jokes than needs to be. But man, I was watching. I've been watching because we're 6 months out front now. I think we got to start waking up to the fact that
To the
we're
election.
6 months out. Yeah.
Yeah.
July, August, September, October, November. We're
And-
5 months out, really.
And like you said, we are. It's shocking that Donald Trump
That this
is
motherfucker
even,
How is it possible?
and he's their front runner. It's not like
and
he's.
and the people keep saying that. That's why I wrote that thing about so I went back because look, we've bitched about the COVID times the whole time, right? We've bitched,
Yep.
and we talk about them way too much. So I go back. I was looking at the economic data when I was writing the Armageddon
Sorry.
update, and I hope we do. I hope we provide a service because it's not fun. It takes me. You don't even know. Writing them is an hour. Researching is another hour at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And so I'm researching all the data, and I start looking at it, and you forget how like from day one he got elected. She burst into tears. Everybody,
My
her
mom
mom
did
burst into
too.
tears, and then every day from then on after. Do you remember the first controversy was he said he was the biggest inaugural in history, and that little guy came out and he's like
I don't think you can say that word anymore.
Sandwich.
What I don't know what his pronoun
Can't
is.
word-
He said
him,
it again.
the little him.
Little person.
So he came out and he was like, Donald Trump, and he came out angry. Remember, he didn't say, he goes, it was the biggest inaugural in history, and then just he
To
was like,
him.
it was the biggest inaugural in history. Yeah, to him, but Trump made him do that, and that was day one. That was day one.
Yep.
Day one, and then
Yep.
he had empty stands during the inaugural, and he was so pissed off from day one.
Well, I mean, even before he was in office, his campaign. He was a total piece of shit.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
100%.
started with they're rapists, they're whatever.
First speech.
Yeah.
They're not sending their best. They're sending their rapists, their
Yep.
criminals, and I assume some are good people.
And then the first 3 years, every day clusterfuck pulled us out of the climate, the Paris.
Iran, the Iran nuclear deal. So now basically Iran now has nukes again.
Yeah.
So Iran is now, because of this specific deal where we had because Obama had made some inroads to Iran. So Iran was trying to be more of a normal,
Yeah.
get along with everybody type people. He pulls us out of the Iran nuclear deal. So which people keep thinking, we were in a deal with Iran. Welcome. Dude, we had inspectors. The deal was we got to send inspectors to inspect all their nuclear facilities, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, you can't hide them because we can see them from satellites.
So
So now Iran's a major evil power again.
Yep. Even all the negative things that he did, undoing things, he put all these super conservative people.
The climate accord.
Oh yeah, and he was dismissing the fact that science doesn't know.
He said, "I don't think science knows."
Yeah.
That's exactly the definition of science.
That is what science is,
knows
to know things.
The entire thing, science is supposed to know. That's why it's science.
Oh,
you dip
God.
shit.
Oh, God.
I just think that the things that have been normalized for us now, we never could have conceived of. And it was death by 1,000 cuts. The first one, we were so shocked. The second one, we were indignant. The third one, we were like, come on. And now we've forgotten some of the most heinous stuff, right? You go and
Yep.
look up what he did or his
Day after
people
day.
did. I mean, even the fact that we've normalized that Paul Manafort is running his campaign, who was found guilty by a jury,
Of working with Russia.
a lady that left a MAGA hat in the car. Yeah. He was working with Russia on the campaign. They found that he was sending polling data to Russia of Trump's campaign. And he was found guilty, then pardoned. Then you have Bannon, who stole $15 million under the guise of build the wall from mom and pop people that sent this money in because they had been scared, of the border and scared of immigrants because of all this rhetoric and the MS-13 shit. So now the guy who helped him steal that 15 million got convicted.
Yep.
He's gone.
Yep.
Bannon got pardoned.
Yep.
But Bannon is speaking at Turning Point USA the other day and saying, he flat out says, it's either victory or death. And then he turns the microphone to the audience so they can scream. So either we win or we fight. You get your guns.
Bannon is king.
And people are like, oh, yeah, okay.
Bannon is king of the pus-filled boils. He really is. That guy needs to be lanced.
Do you know
what?
what?
Popped.
Boils think he needs. Boils like this guy. Pimples are like this guy. Can we pop this guy? He's gross. He grosses me out.
He literally has herpes on his lips.
He's the worst.
Do you know what I thought about today? That's going to be really interesting to see, because he's going to jail, not for the thing that he really should be in prison for. He's going to prison for contempt of Congress.
Right.
He reports on July 2nd, I think.
Yep.
He is a raging alcoholic. Not only have we had inside people tell us this, but as a former bartender, he is that's why his face looks like that, and his nose is distorting, and
he's
all
got a
that.
doorknob in the middle of his face.
Have you seen how much that's grown lately?
Yeah.
And that's a sign. Who was it? It was W.C. Fields.
Definitely.
And so do you understand that part of the reason why he's so freaked out is, do you know he's going to go through detox in jail?
He's going to go through DTs.
He's got 3 months, 2 at least. Yeah. He's going to be sick as a dog, near death, possibly.
Talk about drying out. I mean, he will just turn into like a giant powdery. We've always talked about all the negatives, right? All the criming that Trump did.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about the fact, even if he did nothing, he made no progress. No legislation got passed.
Well, I take that back. They did do tax cuts for billionaires, and we just point. And I keep pointing this out to people. The one thing they did pass that. Billionaires and millionaires got huge tax breaks, and the normal American people, like $40 came out. You got extra $40 in your check. Except what they didn't tell you is, if you remember the first year everybody did their taxes, they were like, what the fuck happened to my rebate? How come I don't have my rebate? Well, they didn't give you more money. They just deferred your they just didn't take it out.
Yeah.
So you got fucked at the end anyway. Yeah. And I think those went away in 2023.
I thought it ends in 25.
Maybe 25. Yeah. So all the tax rates.
He did Abraham Accords. You'll hear about that. You will hear about his border policies. People like his border policies, which is just abject cruelty.
Build a wall.
That and
concentration camps.
Title 42.
Yep.
They like the idea, nobody's really talking about the fact that they all kept saying, when we were trying to get bipartisan legislation passed on the border, and they all kept saying, well, he could just do an executive action. Well, now he's done it, and they're all dead silent. Yeah.
Well, they're mad about that too. They said it's unconstitutional. What he just did with the board, with the granting asylum to people that have already been here for 10 years, it's unconstitutional. I'm like, and you can't just it was the plan all along. Look, guys, you don't even know the border. They had a border bill that Republicans came out and said, hey, when they take the House back, because they know what's going to happen, they're not going to give us this. We got this now. Let's take it. Yeah. And Trump, they were going to take it. Trump said no. They stopped the vote on it.
Yeah.
So now they said, so the next week they're like, well, he could just go. I had an uncle say it to me. One of my uncles said, he could just say an executive order. So
That's
now he's
that said it to me.
So now he's done that, and now they're pissed about that. So, but let's go back to 2018, 2019. You guys don't remember this. So Trump had this big trade war going on. We're going to fuck China, man. We're going to take them Chinese, boom. So he basically imposes a 20 to 40% tariff, 20, 25% on almost all Chinese goods. Well, what happened was the Chinese, he thought, I just don't even, the arrogance of this guy. China's its own country that can make decisions. They don't, there's a whole world that they get to deal with that buys from them. They could tell us to fuck off. And they did. They canceled all of our farmers' agricultural contracts, canceled them. So now these farmers who were getting hundreds of thousands, $1 million a year to send food to China, grain and shit, got their shit canceled because of the trade war.
The great deal maker he is.
That cost $468 billion. Then he had to actually write the farmers subsidy checks to get them through so they didn't lose their farms. And we still lost more farms in bankruptcy under Trump in 2018 and 2019.
And that's out of our tax money. That's our money.
So basically, not only it's a double tax.
Yep.
The tariffs, and people always think that, but he made charge to China all that extra money. You fucking morons. Here's how it works. So when and by the way, the reason the Great Depression happened, people don't know. How come people don't know this? The reason the Great Depression happened, there was a thing called Black Thursday. Smoot-Hawley was a trade deal that passed where they put tariffs on all outside goods. They did it on that Thursday. The fucking market sold off because they realized that we were no longer. So we were nationalistic, no more globalistic. And what happened was the fucking next day, the fucking economy crashed. So this guy. And they even said today that they want to do it again. He's gonna put tariffs on everybody. Let me get back to the tariff thing. So not only was it a double tax, $468 billion total in contracts lost because he did that. Then he sent $48 billion to farmers in subsidies. Mm-hmm. So it cost us $500 billion because he's a fucking moron.
Yep.
And this, by the way, COVID hasn't happened yet. We're not close to COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Dude lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs in 2018 and 19. Lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs. Biden has added over 1.2 million.
We need to look up, what happened on this day, 2018.
I do.
What happened on this day, 2019? What happened on, because there's going to be, there's so much.
Well, every day we were home, I remember we'd wake up, we would drink because we didn't have to do any, couldn't go anywhere. And then we wake up the next day.
Oh, no, before COVID.
10 or 11. Oh, and during COVID, we did it too.
Used to. We still do. But we used to.
We used to too.
And you would just pick up your phone. I always say it was like cutting the red wire on a bomb. Every time you would turn your phone, like, oh, fuck, here we go.
I'd pick it off the nightstand.
Oh, no.
Take a deep breath. And then look at it with just sheer anxiety. I'd wake up and everything would roll on me like, oh my God.
And he keeps saying Biden. He goes, Biden, worst president ever. Well, every historian.
That's why he's saying it.
What?
That's why he's saying it. He projects.
Yep.
So he was ranked in the top 5 worst presidents ever.
90% of them said he was the worst president
but
ever.
when that first came out, he started saying Biden's in the top 5 worst presidents ever. And so he's reading these polls and stuff, and now he's just saying worst president ever because they ranked him. He and Andrew Jackson and
it's the list. The bottom 5 is like, wow, this is a bad list.
Yeah.
So what I'm pissed about is we have the internet, and I've said it before. We have all this information easy now. A lot of it's fake information, but don't lock yourself down. I look at everything. Like if someone says something crazy, Rosa said something. The friend of ours said something today to us, and I was like, I need to look that up. He said that everybody. He goes, the immigrants, illegal immigrants are getting health care. She said they're getting health care and they're getting free money and they're getting Social Security benefits. And I'm like, whoa. Is that real?
What?
Because I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's what I don't do. I don't go, that's bullshit. I go, before I say that's bullshit, I have to find out if it's bullshit.
Yeah.
What everybody else seems to be doing is going, yeah, man. Yeah. That whole thing with Biden last week. Did we talk about this? Yeah, we talked about it the other night. The thing where they showed him wandering off. Well, and then they cut it. So he just looks like he's wandering off. But what they don't show is that on the other side, a bunch of paratroopers came in and did some pretty cool shit. And he was like, hey guys, that was awesome.
Yep. They just
joke. That was awesome.
They take it at face value and they just go with it.
Yes.
You can currently get welfare if you're not a U.S. citizen. You just must provide proof of your immigration status to receive SNAP.
Food.
Oh, like food stamps.
She said food stamps. That's the first thing I looked up.
And then she started to describe
eligible workers, illegal immigrants that's the phrase used on this question before you at me. Eligible workers can apply to the EDD, which is the Employment Development Department, for disability and PFL benefits, which will provide partial pay when a worker takes time off.
If you're not an American citizen, you can get that?
Mm-hmm.
That's not okay.
That's on the EDD website.
I find that not okay.
Actually, California.gov, ca.gov, the title of this page is Undocumented Workers Guide to Applying for California Disability Benefits.
But you haven't done shit here. Why do you get disability? You haven't done shit here.
But that means you have to have a job. On the application, it says, where do you work? That's just applying for.
But how do you get disability benefits if you just got here?
Yeah, and it says you can get the benefits if you need to take time off work for your own disability or to care for a family member.
If you walked 1,000 miles, swam a river, and climbed a fence, I think you don't need disability benefits. I don't think that's okay. Here's the thing. Always people say when people call us liberal or libtards or whatever, I always go, you guys, I'm just constant factually finding things.
Yeah.
And the reality is, listen, you don't get to come to this country and get free shit. That doesn't seem okay to me.
Yeah, that's not
okay.
Look into that.
The other side of that is here's what people don't get. That's why when people say build a wall, keep them out. Okay. It's not that black and white. It's like dumb people say stupid shit like that with no nuance. Mm-hmm. There's no nuance in it. Like, okay, well, all right, let's talk about that. Well, California, the Central Valley is covered with like trees and cabbage and grapes and like food. It's just food. The whole Central Valley provides a third of the food for America.
Rosa works harder than anybody I've ever seen. And right. She's sick. She could be on disability. She's got a lot of ailments from being exposed to chemicals for so many years. And she keeps going because her daughter is at UCLA to become a
brain surgeon,
pediatric neurosurgeon.
Yeah. So
Rosa's paying cash every semester, so she kills herself.
And that's the American dream. On top of that, Rosa just said all that money she's paying. You have USC, right? UCLA. Mm-hmm. So Rosa's busting her ass in a job where she's cleaning toilets. Yeah. This is literally the American dream. I called her a superhero today.
Yeah,
I said, you're a superhero. So her daughter is becoming a pediatric brain surgeon. And she goes and Rosa's mad about these people getting benefits. She's mad. She's like I bust my ass. I pay taxes. Some of these people are coming in not paying taxes, and because they're not showing they're employed, they're getting their money and they're getting benefits. Yeah. And I go to her, that's a crime though. I go, you can be complaining, but that's a crime.
But you're not committing a crime.
You can't get benefits without having work. Like you have to if you're gonna, you can apply. You can apply to get a driver's license, whatever.
That's why. So she said, and this is what he and I were like, okay, we're going to look into.
It doesn't mean you're going to get it.
She has friends from El Salvador, 2 families, that she said a social security number. It's probably a temporary ID number.
Right.
And with that ID number, they can then go apply for a driver's license. They can apply for work. Then once you have work, you can then apply for benefits, disability benefits. I don't think you have to be working to get the food stamps though. And she said that they're getting all of that. Then she was sort of reminiscing about how back in the day, I don't know, sometimes Rosa just talks and I just let it roll about how she goes, Raquel, me have many friends. I'm not going to do it, but she said that used to have babies because you could get $300 a month per baby. And she said, so she knew people that would have 6 kids to get a paycheck. And I was like, Rosa is racist. She did today. She goes, El Salvador, no Mexico.
But by the way, just to be clear, listen, anybody, because there was white people that did that too. Anybody who's gaming the system like that, fuck you.
Oh, I'm from the South.
Fuck you.
There are a lot of white people doing that.
I do the right thing. I bust my ass. I pay my taxes, and I follow the laws. That's all we want. Mm-hmm. You know, and like if there is
your aunt.
Oh my God, my own aunt. She actually said she stopped working at one point because why? Because I don't get my benefit. I don't get the welfare money.
I was making too much to get my benefits.
So I quit working and it's like, so she lives in this abject poverty, but she thinks she's gaming the system.
She's winning. She's getting, because it's government's paying for it. But she's mad at the government, so she supports Trump.
Yeah. She hates the government. The government's out of control,
and black people,
they send her a check every week.
Which is why she was ejected from our lives.
Black people are all on this welfare. I'm like, babe, you haven't worked in 15 years. The fuck are you talking about?
You're on welfare.
You're right. You're actually, yes.
I believe you actually said that in the email that you sent to her once she posted a racist meme, and you were like, okay, that's it.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how some people think that you're supposed to let family get away with anything, and I don't agree with that. As you've known from very early on. No, if you're fucking crazy, you're fucking crazy.
You're out.
Yeah. I think my mom taught me that. My mom was a manic depressive schizophrenic. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I love you, Mom, but don't get fucking near me or I will stab you back. Because you've already stabbed me.
Yeah, literally stabbed me.
I guess so. Most legal immigrants have lived here long enough to qualify for welfare. So there's a term.
Yeah, there's a term.
But a number of states also provide welfare to otherwise ineligible immigrants on their own, California being one of them.
Now, can I also point something else that you pointed out a couple weeks ago? So we work in North Hollywood. We live in Santa. We drive around LA through Van Nuys, whatever. How many people do you see
I got it.
with pushing their own churro cart down the road? How many white people do you see with their own taco truck?
Frutas y Cocos. He's right next to Clumsy's Shrine.
Homeboy every day is
on a
out there.
crack house corner. I am like, bro, you are
He's not selling drugs. He is selling ice cream.
National Immigration Law Center says, so she said Social Security, it's actually called supplemental security. So immigrants get in the United States supplemental security income, SSI, supplemental nutrition assistance program, SNAP, temporary assistance for needy families, TANP. That one doesn't work as well. And emergency Medicaid, which also includes labor and delivery.
I'm not fine with that. I want some health care.
Do you want to be broke and poor and have no other alternatives?
No, I want to know that this is what bothers me about this. Okay, so I get it.
Broke
Good.
and poor.
Well, I pay my taxes, though. Shouldn't I be the one getting health care?
Well, look, I said this last week. We'll pretend it was last week. We recorded not 2 days ago that healthcare is a human right.
Right.
Yep.
I don't understand why we would agree as a nation that immigrants should have healthcare, but we can't agree that we should also. I'm not saying they shouldn't.
Because it's a money grift.
It's a human right. It is one of the most basic human rights because without your health,
But
there's
impossible.
no other need for rights.
It's impossible to give everybody health care. Only 32 out of 33 industrialized nations have figured out how to do it. It's impossible.
Also guns. They've also figured that out.
Yeah, they've
too.
also figured
really
32 out of 30. It's out of control. There's no way in America, the country that walked on the moon first, the country that basically invented the internet, there's no fucking way we could fix healthcare.
Well, we're number one.
What about all those other countries, Japan, everything?
This episode brought to you by OneSkin.
I like this. She stopped even trying.
I gave up. I've tried. I can't do it. I'm not at my best.
OneSkin, by the way.
OS1. Face. I use face, body, and prep is the cleanser. And there's one, OS1 eye. And it does make a night and day difference in hydration. That's the immediate clean, thing that I noticed.
No weird fragrances and stuff in it. It's great.
It doesn't smell like perfume.
Nope.
That's this other thing I noticed right away is that it doesn't smell like perfume. And it's the only thing. Being on this medication, I'll put stuff on my face and it'll burn, even if it's supposed to just be an all natural whatever. OS1 does not. There is no stinging. It just feels good and it hydrates,
but it also,
which I need really badly right now.
Very, very smooth, very perfect.
OS1 also deals with dry skin, which I need, deeper wrinkles and crepiness. I didn't mean to point at you, but I was thinking about your aunt. So it's addressing visible signs of aging.
You meant creepiness.
That's what I was like, I'm missing a term here. What is that?
The key being that OneSkin, it helps you keep your skin healthier, and it does it on a deeper level than any other skincare I think I've ever tried.
Confirm. I can confirm the dewiness. There's a difference. There's definitely a difference.
Yes.
In it. The stuff the original stuff that I got, it's the OneSkin, the lotion. Amazing difference.
Yeah.
Amazing difference.
All-woman team of scientists. You guys know I love that. OneSkin is the first and only skin longevity company that targets cellular senescence, which is dead cells, and that's why you look like you're aging. And they do that with their proprietary OS1 peptide, which they discovered after trying a bunch of different things. OS1 is scientifically proven. They have studies. You can go look at their website to read about those. Scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, which is what you're talking about, and also addresses the thinning skin that often comes with age, which leads to creepiness.
It's creepy now.
Old guys are creepy and crepey.
It is a thin breakfast.
They did a third-party 12-week clinical study. It was performed by third-party research organization. OS1 Face was clinically proven that to strengthen the skin barrier, improve skin health markers, and diminish visible signs of aging. Wrinkles reduced in 87% of users, which is insanity. Yep. And if you live in a drier climate, you need this now. You need to start preparing now, like we do, or people in Arizona.
We're taking a vet to Arizona.
Oh, yeah. It's already packed in the car. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. You can get started today. You'll get 15% off of your order using code Titus at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with promo code Titus. After you make your purchase, because you will, they're going to ask you where you heard about it and put in that you heard about it from Titus Podcast so that they know that we sent you.
Right. 100%.
Love this product. Love the body stuff. Love all of it.
So back to how bad this guy fucked up the whole way. It wasn't just COVID. People keep giving him a pass. Oh, it was COVID, man. Anybody could have had a problem like that. No, he was killing. Remember his inaugural speech? Someone said yesterday on the radio, and I go, how are you mad during your inaugural speech? Remember, he called it the desolation of America. That he did.
Oh, was that like Edgar Allan Poe?
It was literally like Edgar Allan Poe. Yes, I kept saying that. Yes,
COVID for Trump was that was a gift for him, because everybody can sort of look at his last year in office and go, oh, well, all the bad things that led up to it,
which they
was
are
because of COVID.
Yeah.
All the numbers were bad. Look at him. You
which
can't
is
compare
actually
him.
not true. If you take his first 2 years and compare them to Biden's, any of Biden's 2 years, it is, well, we already know that. It is stark. And people don't know that, and nobody's screaming that from the rooftop.
Yeah.
Well, but people also think that
Chris Hayes did. He did an episode about it.
Do you remember, like, in month 3, he was going, look at these numbers. These numbers are crazy. Well, if you look at Obama took over in 2008, 2009, when everything went to shit. We lost. Remember, the housing crisis destroyed everything. Yep. We had unemployment of 11%. GM and Chrysler almost went down.
This was Bush's doing.
This is Republican, right? Yep. And the Democrat came in, fixed it again. Yep. Saves GM and Chrysler, gets everybody. Ford was the only company that didn't take any money, and they survived. Good for them.
But their stock is shit.
Yeah, well, they didn't. And so here's what happened. So Obama gets it down to where black unemployment at the peak was 16.8%. And then at the end of Obama's term, it was 7.8%. At the end of white unemployment, overall unemployment was 3.8 or 3.6% of Obama. Trump comes in, I think it dropped to 3.4 at one point, at about 3 months into Trump's, and he said, look, it's lowest unemployment of all time. Motherfucker.
That's because the trend.
You can't just stop the truck. You can't stop the train instantly.
Right.
It's got to
it's got momentum.
If you're going to give them credit, you got to give them credit for whatever happens under them.
Sure. Okay. So 3, 4, but then it went to 14%.
Yeah.
It went to 14% COVID. But during this whole time, he lost. They lost so many jobs well before COVID. It was already a clusterfuck. Shithole countries. The Paris Accords. Now we've got it's 112 degrees in Miami. Yeah. They're having insane. There's a storm that's going across Texas right now. That's brutal. Like we're having 500-year weather events twice a month.
Yes.
That's that.
California, and you pulled out until this week, June has been overcast and cold.
Weird.
It's
been weird.
I'll take that.
Well, he's obviously got the industry in his pockets. What about the rolling back of the regulations? And then we had
the train derailments.
The train derailments. We've got the airplane issues going on. That's a Trump
rollback
era.
Regulations. Now Boeing is currently crashing airplanes.
Be specific about like the trains.
There was so many. So basically, what they did was they made it so trains didn't have to have so many people on them. They didn't have people inspecting them or on them. They didn't need to have emergency braking systems. They cut all this back. So he deregulated the train industry to get more goods and stuff.
Just keep it going. They didn't have to. One of those big
Thomas the train got fired because he was there was a new shovel guy. So what happened was Ohio had like 6 trains derailed in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And they were like all chemical.
Yep.
It was like the deadliest
It was
chemicals.
all just a
And they had to
DuPont
move,
cleanup.
They had to move people out. And that was all because of Trump's deregulation. And this happens over and over with specifically Republicans. And go through history. Again, you can look this up. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm just a douchebag comedian. I get that. Go look it up.
Yeah.
Go look it up. You're going to be shocked. So Trump, 18 to 19, just was fucking the economy up. The only people that did. Oh, do you remember the coal guy who owned coal mines? Ross, who was the head of the environment. He was in the Department of Environment.
Yeah.
Rex Tillerson?
Wilbur Ross. Wilbur Ross.
He was the oil and gas guy.
The old Mr. Burns looking fucker. That was like, no, we're gonna deregulate the coal industry. Smithers. So and then Rex Tillerson, by the way, who was another businessman. Rex Tillerson, who was weirdly has disappeared. By the way, have you just know that we haven't heard shit about Rex?
A lot of people have.
Rex Tillerson's the one that came out and said after we had a meeting where he yelled at front and he called Trump a fucking moron.
Yeah. After like one meeting, he knew immediately.
But that's the problem when you get competent people. Look, everybody wants, I guess the diamond of the job is, oh my God, I work for the president of the United States. That's awesome. Holy shit, the president of the United States is a fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, can't say that word either.
That's fine. I already got the fucking big
Snippety
ass
snap. You got to go through
the city scissors are
this
coming
one's
out.
going to take a minute to edit because I'm so mad. And then he appointed to the Supreme, and Republicans again. Obama had a Supreme Court pick. He was going to put Merrick Garland on the Supreme Court, who's the most even-tempered. I would like to rule on this case very, very
slow it down,
very sensuously. And so Merrick Garland was going to be a Supreme Court judge, and then fucking Mitch McConnell says you can't a president cannot nominate a Supreme Court nominee in the last year of his term, and yet Amy Krusty Buttplug, she got put on 6 weeks before the end of Trump's term. Brent Kavanaugh is
weren't all three of them? Weren't they all put on?
Gorsuch, was it Gorsuch?
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's like, and you just go, they were all done, and the fucked up part is that they're so bald faced about it. They don't have any concept of integrity or honor. Like, and that's when people go, why are you a Democrat? Because they fucking have honor, at least.
Yeah.
You know, at least they have fucking honor. Not all of them. I mean, I don't think Bill Clinton has a whole lot of honor, but I will say this. Bill Clinton personally may be literally like my dad, but when it came to what he did for the country, he did his job.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with Biden, right? We're not going to agree with everything that he's done, but you can easily look at the track record.
It's not
of
a
the
question
things that he's done.
This is a thing that blows my mind because we could sit here and go down the list of
of everything he's accomplished.
CHIPS Act, Infrastructure Act, Inflation Reduction Act. He capped medication costs like insulin. People were living in poverty.
We're negotiating with drug companies for now.
I mean, it's like we could just sit here and go down the list. Lowest unemployment rate, lowest black unemployment rate, jobs numbers, the stock market, all-time record high 2 times in the last 2 weeks. But that's not the message that's out there. And it's the craziest thing. And it's so much disinformation. So if you guys think that, maybe Putin wants Trump to win, and we don't have to say maybe because he said it. And we have Russian state TV playing Tucker, playing Marjorie Taylor Greene, playing Trump,
JD Vance,
because they agree with their ideology. And so Putin wants Trump back in. So we know it was proven in a bipartisan Senate intel report that Russia interfered in our election. And one of the ways that they did it was through disinformation, social media, for dumb people that get their news from social media. And they actually tracked some of the lies back to Russian state TV or back to a disinformation machine in St. Petersburg. And so obviously now it would be cranked up even more because Biden has put such heavy, not tariffs,
sanctions.
He
sanctioned the shit
on
out of
them
Russia.
that the ruble has tanked. People are lined up trying to get their money out of banks.
We're taking the money that we'd seized, and we're using the interest to give it to Ukraine. That's got to piss you off.
So he truly has a vested interest. Trump already said he'd let him do whatever he wanted to do. He's going to pull out of NATO. So disinformation is pumping through our media right now. And it's crazy to me, like even little things. Like today I saw a verified account on Instagram posted, this is not about the election, but with a news story. And it looked so real about how a Canadian cancer hospital apologized for saying cervix instead of front hole because they didn't want to offend trans people. And it was so real. And I actually had a moment where I was like, what?
Don't ever say front hole again. None of us.
So I went and looked it up.
A pact that we'll never say that again. We will never say that. Is the worst thing I've ever heard.
PolitiFact fact checked it. It's not true. Now they did say on their website that they use medical terminology while acknowledging that some transgender and non-binary patients may prefer to use the term front hole instead of cervix. So I guess that is a phrase I didn't know.
Ricky Gervais had a great bit about
but Tommy Lauren picked it up and put it on she put a video on X, put it on her podcast. And so I'm sitting here looking at all of these people with millions of followers that went and ran this, and it's not true. It's not true, right? You can easily look up.
That is election based because anything that sort of leans on woke, liberal, whatever acceptance of people, anything that can be perceived as negative against that means let's push the country towards the right because these people are crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Right?
But here's but here's what these people don't get. First of all, what they've really weaponized, and this is throughout history, this has always worked. Your life isn't going well. Dumb guy who's driving the Silverado who didn't finish college, didn't go to college, didn't finish school. And by the way, I can talk shit because I didn't go to college and I barely finished school. But I busted my ass and I've chosen to become a better person. I've worked hard. Yep. If you're pissed because you got into drinking and whatever your life went and your life spun the fuck out and you're looking at somebody oh my God, look at that gay guy. He runs a company. How could it's gay people's fault or it's trans people's fault. First of all, you're suspect number one for worrying about that much. But also, it's really good to point those. It's always the other. This is throughout history, human history, not just recent history. Yeah. It's those guys. Yeah. It's those guys. Your life sucks because of those guys. Yeah. And the one thing my father taught me, it was never, even when it was someone else's fault. His boss, the guy who owned his company, fucked him over so bad, took everybody's retirement fund. But my dad, when he got to the end of his career, he had no money because this guy had used it for the company. So, but he never blamed him. He was like, Joe had kids and going to college. And I'm, motherfucker, I didn't go to college. So it's always, if you find yourself angry at somebody else who you don't know, who just happens to be different than you, that's on you. But it's so easy.
That's what I was telling you. I've seen that trend of it's people that are dissatisfied in some way about something in their own lives.
Right.
This episode brought to you by, I didn't have the segue for that either. Miracle Made sheets. Amazing. I can tell you that. Self-cooling, which I need because I'm hot AF, which helps me sleep better. Also self-cleaning. I'm also a little germophobic, so that's pretty awesome too.
Can we explain what that means, self-cleaning?
Yeah, they don't wash themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
The sheets are infused with silver that prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, which leaves them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. Women will be happy about that because you don't have to wash the sheets as often. Comfort, and that was a very sexist thing to say, that women aren't the only people that wash sheets.
And guys will like it because when they fart, it goes away faster.
In my house,
it self-cleans it out.
I wash sheets. That's why I said that. Because
she won't let me wash it. I said, I'll get them. She's like, don't touch do not walk. Stop. Put the clothing down and back up. Yeah. That's what I get. Yeah, exactly.
I can't. I mean, I just can't. The men will. Was about.
What is there, like car grease ends up on it? Like it just
mixes it with red things.
Oh, you're misogynistic. You're definitely misogynistic.
When we came home from the road the other day, and then we'll get back to this. You threw all your clothes in the wash and you said, I already started my laundry, and I went by there and it was on hot and they were all colors and blacks. And I was like, no.
It wasn't on hot. It was on warm. I put all the black stuff on warm.
No.
Yes, true. I did.
No. So you can do laundry less. Aren't you happy your sheets get washed for you? I'm happy too. It's it's kind of zen for me to do that. Also designed for your skin because you're not sleeping on bacteria. No, because I'm I'm a neat freak. I like things. I have a method with these sheets.
I'm kind of like that about the shop now.
I've
been mopping.
You're
every
that
night.
way with your cars. Yes. Bacteria can clog your pores and it causes breakouts and stuff. And so you're not sleeping on that anymore. So actually you can just, you're sleeping clean. That's all I have
noticed
say.
they're cooler. I have noticed that.
They are cooler. You need to try these because it's hot outside and it's about to get hotter. Thank you, climate change. And so Miracle Made sheets will help with that.
You mean thank you, climate denial.
And again, I'll say I hate this phrase. Traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat. Yeah. Go try Miracle Sheets today. If you want to do that, you go to trymiracle.com/Titus. That's very easy to remember. Trymiracle.com/Titus to try Miracle Made sheets today. Whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for someone else, if you order them right away, order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use that promo code Titus at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an additional 20% off of that. So when you go to the website, it's /Titus, but then you can use the promo code and you get that additional. Do you have it? Are you caught up with me? Mm-hmm. Okay. Miracle's so confident in their product. It's also backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied, you get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made.
They're really good sheets, by the way. I enjoy it. I want to have a discussion because we all take our chapter and we talk for 5 minutes. So I'm the worst at it.
Oh my God. I can't believe you just said that.
So here's what's bothering me right now, and I want to hear why. I've started to try to figure out, I had a thought today about why people think that the economy's bad and why they've forgotten how fucked up it was under Trump. And I think it's because, and I thought of my cousin Scotty, who was, he was in Raqqa and he came back after his team got blown up and one of the head guy got, and he came back and he was fine for about 3 or 4 months. And then it started to kind of get to him. And I think there's a avoidance. COVID was a nightmare for everybody. Financially, people lost families. And I think people have forgotten how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, during COVID?
But I think it's with kids, like a reset button. Like when kids go through trauma or screaming, they just kind of reset. They'll go right to sleep. Because so I think
he whitewashes. So it's what you say all the time. He does what Goebbels did. As soon as something bad happens, he denies it in the moment. Then he says, well, if it happened, it was okay that it happened. Then if it happened, it was okay. And I didn't do it. And then he talks about how it was no big deal. And he says the opposite of what happened. Greatest presidency. He's been saying again, better than Lincoln, better than FDR.
I've done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln.
And he just said last week, better presidency. Many are saying than FDR. And so people just hear it repeated like that.
But this is where I have a problem. I think some of it is the trauma of COVID. We all went through trauma in COVID. You got to remember during COVID also there was protests going on. There were people. Yeah. Do you guys remember how the racial shit got done? Yep. Do you remember like George Floyd happened?
Yeah.
Like, do you guys remember our country was on fire? We had Boogaloo boys who blamed the black protesters for burning down the police station, and yet they have video of the Boogaloo boys burning down the police station.
No, they got charged.
I don't know. I was going to finish that. And so they arrested them, and the guys that Kyle Rittenhouse, who his mommy dropped Charlottesville. He gave racists and assholes a free ride.
What about Georgia? They got charged with federal hate crimes too.
The guys, Ahmaud Arbery
in the neighborhood, jogging in the neighborhood,
just jogging. Yeah. He was just running, and they chased him down like a dog. And this all happened under Trump, and he kept giving excuses for it. Do you remember when he said at Charlottesville there was good people on both sides? No, there fucking wasn't. Yeah. There was Nazis on one side, and there was people protesting Nazis. That's different.
I think this relates to the economy and the brainwashing part of it. That it's.
What do you think that is? Like, what is it? Because the economy, we're on the road.
Yeah.
Countrywide, the economy's fucking booming. Everything's packed. Everything's full. People are spending money. Bars are packed. The airports are stunned. Explain to me, like, what is it? Because
there's probably one piece of this whole thing that is still in effect, and the fact that Biden hasn't really strongly taken it down, and that's the greedflation part.
Yeah.
That is related to
but he
COVID.
can't. Private companies.
He can't, but he could come out and on the front of every speech,
list the companies?
fucking go after him,
Yeah.
name it,
Yeah.
say, do what he can to go. And some have responded
just don't
like
talk
Target.
about chips. Yeah, there's less chips in the bag. The Snickers is just much shorter.
Because if
It's
anything,
no joke.
I knew that was coming.
if anything has taught us about the Trump is that if you get people can be convinced the right is good at just brainwashing them.
Well,
They
you
just
say it
go over,
Goebbels,
over,
it's
over
Hitler.
again.
Yeah, you just say it over and over again. Yeah.
But if you tell them the truth over and over again,
It's
you'll
also
start
the
to.
optics of Biden's age. You know, we always say Presidents Obama became president. He went into the White House. He walked back out, and he was gray. It happens all the time.
Oh my God.
Biden
Bush,
had
W.
nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
there was no telomeres left.
So while this administration under him has been one of the greatest according to historians.
By the
of
way,
all
if you just look
time.
at the record, wait, I'm going to be clear about this. Sorry to interrupt you. You guys don't understand what this man did. He's had 50 years of experience. I just want to say this.
I know. I'm just saying it's just the way he walks and talks.
Yeah.
So, and Trump just had a birthday last week, and he's 2 years younger. 2 years. He's
and
78.
talks way crazier.
But he talks fast and loud and
makes no sense.
I know, but I'm just telling you, for dumb people, the optics of that.
That reads as energy and youth.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. Let's compare. You know how you fix it? Here's how you fix it. You just write it down. I just watched Biden answer a bunch of stuff at the G7 where he sat down and gave a very long interview regarding on where we are in the world, what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, what happened with Trump, why all the stuff that's wrong. And he was very clear, very specific. We can't do this. We can't do that. This is what America stands for. It's very clear. Mm-hmm. Write that down and put that next to what Trump says. The thing he said about, so I'm on a boat, right? It's electric boat.
My gosh.
I got an electric boat and the boat sinks.
The fucking shark
so now the
thing.
batteries, but there's a shark 10 feet away. Do I get on the boat or do I go 10 with the shark 10 yards away from me? I'm like,
and then he segues into how many shark attacks we've had.
Yeah, we had a lot of shark attacks lately.
And the fucking sycophants behind him are like,
because they're paid. The people that are sitting behind him.
Yeah, I know.
Because Trump, by the way, is he can't talk policy without a teleprompter. He doesn't know. Someone said that Fauci has a book coming out, and I listened to him. So he's doing the whole thing, interview. You know, he's like, here's how important money is to people. Fauci's got death threats, crazy. He's like, no, I'm going to hoard this book. Yeah. I'm pouring this book. So he goes out and he's talked to everybody, and he said that during COVID, that Trump didn't understand between a virus or a
bacteria.
He just didn't understand viruses or diseases, or he didn't understand it, and then he would come in and go, I like you, I like you, I think you're great. He goes, but you can't say what you said. Well, what he said was hydroxychloroquine didn't work. Trump called him in his office and fucking screamed at him. He's like, the stock market just dropped 600 points because you said that. So you just cost the country $1 trillion. And like Fauci's like, I stopped AIDS, bitch.
Yeah, right.
I saved millions and millions of lives while your incompetence killed 1 million in this country. What are you talking about?
What was it? What was the word? He did an interview a few weeks ago and they said they were talking about abortion. And then they said, well, how do you feel about contraception? And he goes, well, I think that's something that we're going to be bringing our platform forth about that very soon. And in the next week, maybe two, we're going to be talking about that. And you realize he doesn't know what the word contraception means.
He doesn't know. If you just said rubbers, he would have known. What do you think about rubbers?
I don't know. Hasn't he? He's probably paid for a bunch of abortions, I think.
100%.
Yeah, so he doesn't know either of them.
You think?
That's why he doesnon know.
So then they were talking about. Do you remember at the beginning of Trump, when Trump came out and the rallies were packed? This is in 20. This is before when 2016 when he got before he got elected. Do you remember how everybody was like, "Fuck your feelings"?
Yes.
Like people, like really these old, obese, people, white people. Fuck your feelings, man. Other guys, I'd rather be Russian than a Democrat. Yes. So, which is great. Good America. You're a good American.
Real patriot.
Now they're saying that I don't care what the numbers say. I don't feel like the economy's doing well. Hey, fuck your feelings. Here are the numbers. Fuck your feelings. Here are the numbers. And these are the same numbers that Trump used to scream to the rooftops that he was the best president.
Yeah.
So what I'm tired of is that this guy's record before COVID was abysmal. Mm-hmm. It was the worst. He fucked up our trade with China so bad that we're still recovering from it. Farmers lost billions of dollars, and this asshole how can you let a guy who's been bankrupt 6 times, failed at selling steaks, water, vodka, planes, football team, everything that nobody fails at, this fucker failed at over and over and over. And you let him run economic policy?
Oh, so even if you...
It's not a game, man.
Even if you took the COVID thing away, he would still be considered the worst president in history.
Yes.
But we can't discount how he reacted to COVID, because that was the worst of all leaders on the fucking planet.
Well, we also saw when Biden came in how high handle it. I mean, I did it in zero side effects.
Like within weeks,
we were within weeks we were in a parking garage with a line of 1,000 people getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
It was literally like that. I remember we drove to Pomona. We drove all the way to Pomona.
It was organized. Somebody who was cared about the country and moving forward. And all of a sudden, it was a collective, like, oh, thank God. We have
people also forget
a leader, an actual leader.
Also forget what else Trump did was he came in and he closed all the pandemic response team offices.
Yeah. Especially the one in Wuhan.
It's like, how can the guy, like, it's almost everything he does. You just know when he does something, oh fuck, that's about to go bad. That's about to go bad. He closed all the pandemic response offices, especially the one and even the one in Wuhan, and then we have a pandemic. And I remember when Obama was president, talking about, he goes, look, one day we're gonna have something. I'm starting this worldwide pandemic response team so we can get ahead of it before it happens.
Yeah.
And he closed it. He actually stopped we can go over it again, the Iran nuclear agreement. So now we can't tell whether Iran has nukes or not, but we used to be able to. He is up. He's licking Putin's taint left and right. The reason Putin wants Trump back in is because then Trump will stop everything, all money going to Ukraine.
Oh, then we have a new sort of axis of evil.
Well, we have it now. Do you know that? Did you see that? This happened this week. North Korea and Putin have signed like a NATO agreement that they're supposed to help each other now. Yep. So if China signs on to that, and Iran,
these are the two people that Trump always speaks so highly of.
Yep. Yes, and Iran signs on to that, and Orban signs on to that. We now have NATO and this other group, and that is the beginning of World War III. 100%. Again, I'll say it again.
Yep.
Wars don't start on Thursday. It takes about 3 years.
Yep.
2 to 3 years before a world war starts. And we are fucking every day. We seem to be taking a step further.
Yes, we are marching towards it. Yep.
Yes. Every time I read something, what did I say today? What did I say today? I said, if I call you and say, get in the car, we're going up north.
Say that all the time.
No, but every time something happens, we're just creeping towards it.
If we don't, like you said in the Armageddon update, if we don't want World War III, we have to keep Biden in office. Yes. Because if Trump takes over, it's going to be Putin, the U.S., North Korea, China versus NATO.
China.
And Trump's going to pull out of NATO, which we are the biggest member of NATO, and we have the most money and we have the most weapons. And what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then how many hundreds of thousands of Americans are going to die? Or how many hundreds of thousands or millions of Americans are going to get vaporized? Mm-hmm. People don't understand this man. Biden, here's the thing. We say about Biden. Biden loves America. He loves the idea of America. You can tell he loves what this country stands for. He gets it. That's why when I saw him and Obama together, at that benefit they did, you had this moment of like, it's like getting lemonade on a hot day. You're like,
he was at the founding. I mean, he
was there. He knew George Washington. They went and drank together, him and Thomas Jefferson. You're right. Biden was there.
He still has his white wig.
He needs to put it on. I don't know what's happening there. You can see us this weekend, Thursday. Will this be out by then? Thursday is Desert Ridge Improv. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Tempe Improv.
Working on the new stuff.
Coming up in July, Omaha and Vegas, and then new dates added for August, which is Pittsburgh, and Buffalo's coming, and Nashville. So go check out ChristopherTitus.com.
So guys, to wrap it up before we go to the fun fact, I want you guys to know something. So you have to vote. Now you can say what you want. You can not like the pronouns. You cannot like, I will give you the problems of the left and the right. The right has a problem where they want a dictator. They want someone that's going to come in. They're hungry for power and money. They don't even have a policy. When Chip Roy, one of the hardcore right-wing conservative Republicans, gets up in front of the House and goes, give me one thing we've done. Yep. They've passed nothing. They've created nothing, and they've done nothing to help America. On the other side, you've got the Democrats who are trying to get healthcare through. They're helping LGBT people. They're helping, they're helping. They want to actually make billionaires pay their fair share. If I got to pay 15, 20% tax, you got to pay 15, 20% tax. Yep. Yeah, but I pay more tax. It doesn't matter. You made more money. That's part of the deal of making money in America. Yep. You live in the most prosperous country in the world. That's part of the deal. You got to pay that fucking. I don't like it either, but you got to do it. I love what Mark Cuban said. Hey, I pay my tax. What did he say? I paid 7 figures in tax last year, but I get to live here. And if I paid 7 figures, do you know how much money I made? Running
businesses that are using all of the tax paid,
all the social,
the streets and the traffic and all that stuff is
all the infrastructure is being used by you and your business, and you're bitching. You should be paying. You
pay it back.
Fuck. And so that's what being an American means. Oh, and you get freedom stuff. Our taxes so high? Always. I don't think anybody's ever. If taxes were 2%, we'd be like, we got to get it down to 1. I get it.
Yeah.
And in California, we pay the most tax here, but I will tell you this, I love living in California. At one point you can bitch and moan, or you can accept it and deal with it. There'll be a point where, man, like we talked about that today with this, I don't think it doesn't make sense to me. I get that they're poor, but it doesn't make sense to me that you don't pay taxes, aren't contributing to the society, but we're giving you money. That bothers me. I contribute. I pay my taxes.
Is this a preventative? See, we'd have to look at if it's just if we're talking about the application part.
Someone will, don't trust me. We'll get a comment. We're going to get a comment. They'll wise me up. Wise me up, people. I'm fine with being wised up. So you got the Democrats are actually trying to do something to the point where they'll even work with these assholes who are actually trying to break it down. Like they seem to be about destruction. The Democrats pushed forward a immigration bill that the Republicans wanted. They started adding stuff the Republicans wanted over and over to where and I'll say it again, to the point where numerous Republicans came to the mic and go, I don't understand what the House is doing. We're never going to get this if we get if the Democrats take over the House and the Senate. We're not going to get it. This is the most conservative bill since Reagan.
Wouldn't a bill in place be better than nothing? Right. So they just said, well, okay, we've got something. We've all compromised on this.
But the problem is this. And so then Trump says, Trump said,
logic of it.
Trump said, we have nothing to bitch about then. So which Israel always says, you can always tell the proof by what they act like. She always says this about the election. Tell me what you say about the election, how you know they're lying about the election was stolen.
I sat and I was just thinking, I was watching them on the news one day and they were showing clips of them. It was like a montage of people, saying that the election was stolen. And I was just thinking, do all these people believe this? Am I crazy? Do they really believe it, or are they knowingly and willingly lying? And then it hit me, because every one of them, Bannon, Roger Stone, all of them, Trump, are all saying, but we're going to take it back this election. They're going to see who the American people want in November. November 2nd, that's our reckoning day. That's the day we take over. Wait a minute. You believe in the election? Mm-hmm. I thought you said that all elections were fake and fraudulent, and that Biden is a dictator, that he is an evil socialist dictator who uses the DOJ and weaponizes it against his enemies and won't leave power. But wait, you guys are all telling people to vote?
That's based on an election.
And you're saying we're going to show you in November when we take it back? Bannon just said on day one, we're going to lock all these people up.
Win the election.
yeah, after we win the election and take power, we're going to lock all these people up that have stood. Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. You said, hold on.
You said it does. It's illegitimate. Then how come you're saying? It
struck me like a gut. I was like, oh,
it's
my
bullshit.
God.
Yeah, the logic flips.
Well, they know that they're looking at the polls now. They're seeing that Trump is really like he's like weekly he's going down, and what they're saying now is like the election's rigged already. Roger Stone was interviewed in the thing, and he was talking about how we've got people watching the election now, and we're ready to respond when the election doesn't go our way. So they know what's happening, guys. So you have to understand something. You have to actually, what country do you want to live in? If Biden and the DOJ was weaponized, Trump would be in jail. On top of that, if Biden was a dictator, there is no election. He just goes, we're not having the election. Sorry. I'm going to turn it over to Hunter. Hunter's going to be the next president.
But they're both campaigning. He's campaigning.
Yeah. Oh, and Trump's in so much trouble, and he's so indicted that he's flying around in his jet. He's been convicted. Do you think any of us convicted of 34 felonies are going to be out free?
We'd be in fucking jail. Any normal person would be in jail.
So guys, what you got to decide the country you want. And that's why I said in the Armageddon Update, vote. You got to decide what country you want. Do you want run by a bunch of pus-filled boils like Bannon and Trump in his kitten heels and wearing a diaper? Or do you want a good guy like Biden who, yes, he's old. Yes, at times there's at times I'm like, I wish he was 60. I wish he was 60. My God. But he's not. But he's a good man.
And your vote matters. This election's going to be decided by a very small number of votes. So even if you're like, oh, I live in California, the Democrats are going to win anyway. Don't do that. Don't do that. Register to vote and vote.
Right. Because Hillary, people.
Are you looking up your fun fact now?
Because it is time for Highlanders.
The camera didn't see that.
It's time for Highlanders fun facts. Highlanders fun facts. It's Highlanders fun facts.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
that was nice, by the way.
Speaking of Trump, the largest piece of fossilized dinosaur poo discovered is over 30 centimeters long.
Nice lead-in, man.
Wow, 30 centimeters.
30 centimeters. What is that? What's this?
That's amazing.
Centimeters about that.
And over 2 liters in volume.
That's almost 12 inches long. That's not that bad. That's almost 12 inches long. I mean,
I've dropped one.
Yeah, that's
look on a good day or a bad day, whatever you want to call it.
That's after some Taco Bell.
That's about like that.
Yeah, you've launched one like that.
I wish.
That's after AG1 and your belly's all better.
Yeah. That's the one where you get up and you're like, life is great. And you just going for a bike ride because it's not going to hurt.
Because you're aerodynamic.
And thank God we ended on poop. Thank you. Thank you for always getting us to a place where we end on poop. If we can end on poop, I think all of us are a little happier, you know?
You always say the word poop so interestingly. It makes me laugh. It's almost like poop.
Poop.
See?
Poop. Oh, there's a bend in it.
Do you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
What is the bend?
Oh, yeah.
Poop.
It is cute.
Poop. He makes it sound cute.
It's so cute.
Even a dinosaur poop.
It's like an emoji poop. It's always. It feels like it has a sound
how do you
effect.
say it?
Poop.
Poop. Yeah, poop. Straight.
Yeah.
There's a slight bend. I like it.
Poop. What the fuck? I can't even hear it.
And you tried that time.
I didn't. Listen, a dinosaur poop.
Okay.
There you go. Dinosaur poop. I'll say it like a man instead of poop. Both you guys suck really bad. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. For myself, the lovely Bomb Shermace and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
Like a really one?
He's crying.
The fact that
this is poop.
You didn't. You tried to say it and it's still.
And then you do your lip. Poop.
I do not do my lip. I quit. It's the last podcast. Jesus.